Okay, we're back for bubble letters. Now, I'm going to do a basic bubble letter T for Talawanda, and I'm going to start out with lined paper, just like before. And you can use a ruler for this or not, or a straight edge. It's up to you, completely up to you. So again, I'm going to be using, whoops, went further with the one line than the other. Okay, so I'm going to be making a very large rectangle, basically, with a rectangle on top. I feel like I should make that part bigger, but that's okay. We'll just stick with this. Talawanda T. Now it has normally these triangles that kind of come down and this thing that goes up, right? Sometimes, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. We can do that later when you get fancy and really good at this, okay? So once again, we're going towards that vanishing point with the corners, and you're definitely gonna do those two, right? But also we are going to do this one down here, okay? Now we would normally do this one, but since it's right below that vanishing point, you're not gonna really see much of the side of that there. So you will, however, see this. So that's something to be aware of. If you're right below the vanishing point, you don't actually see that much of it. And you can see that here with my tape dispenser. When we're looking directly down at it, there's a side over here that you don't even see at all, and that's why, okay? So just be aware of that. And now you can use your piece of tape again to draw those lines in, or not. It's really up to you. I'm gonna draw that T in. I think I made that one a little bit too long. Whoops. And now I need to go towards that point and connect the dots and then draw that line in. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go to that next line there and make that my ending point there. I am gonna kind of add in this little shaded side there so it looks more 3D. Okay, and then the last one I'm going to do is going to be this one. I'm gonna use the ruler for this one because it just feels like it will be easier. Okay, so now I'm going to connect that with a vertical. And there is my Talawanda T. Now, this side would actually be lighter, right? Because that's where the sun is. And then we've got shading, a little bit of shading going back. And you want to kind of clean up your lines a little bit. So this is the lightest point. Remember, we did this before? And so this is going to be a little bit darker. Okay, and then this front is going to be our darkest part. Once again, we want to make this dark. Shading is what makes things really, really pop out with 3D. Okay, so when you're drawing a cube and things like that, at first it starts to look like it's 3D, but then after a while, it doesn't. The other thing that makes things look 3D, and my dad just sent me this really cool drawing set from this guy who does chalk drawings, and he makes them look like they're standing up. So there's a lion, and it makes it look like he's standing up even though it's drawn on the ground. And the way that he does that is with shading, like I'm doing now, and also with shadows, shading and shadows. So this is shading on an object. A shadow is when the shade is cast onto the ground. So for this, since my light is coming this direction, that means my shadow is actually going to go in that same direction. So I'm going to draw that T shadow coming down as if the sun were shading it down below. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay, so now I would fill this in. And with the shadows, sometimes the edges are a little bit fuzzier. They're not always crisp. So it's okay if you don't get it just perfect. And depending on the angle of the sun, you know that sometimes the shadows are longer and sometimes they're shorter. So when the sun is directly above, the shadows are much shorter than when it's the beginning or the end of the day, when the sun is on the horizon or near the horizon. So same thing here, I'm going to shade a shadow on the ground, and notice how this anchors the shape and makes it look finished and complete. Okay, I hope you had fun learning how to do a bubble letter and a rectangle in 3D today. We'll see you again soon. Bye.